Good morning. I'm Jay Harris, author of The Chubby Church, books 1 and 2, and Whole and Free Health, and much more books to come. I'm a kingdom author, love Jesus Christ, and absolutely am thankful to be here with you. So The Chubby Church, book 1, it has a lot of foundational principles on health, weight, eating, body image. What the Chubby Church 2 is meant to do is really sever all those ties to the battles that create weight and eating, the war, the weight and eating war. So what are the battles? Let me go through those with you. And again, you want to get the content because it's so powerful. It's going to shift and change you from the inside out just from reading or listening on Audible. It's on Kindle, Audible, and it's at Amazon that you can order. You can always go to thechubbychurch.com to find books. So book 2 is an order to win the 7 battles of the weight and eating war for good. And it's helping you gain the victory. Now, the victory comes through these 7 battles. Now, the way you're going to see it in the world in a diet book is not going to talk about the real battles. They're only going to address it from that physical point of view, which is fine and it's effective. So whether you like keto or paleo, to me, doesn't really matter as long as you're going to get food truth within those particular plans. So I'm not here as you know, a person pushing a diet, okay? I'm here as a person who wants your soul free. So there's 7 battles. The first battle, I call it, the chapter is called Rebuke the Sugar Demon and Her Cheesy Cousins, because there's lots of areas of food addiction that are unaddressed. And it may not be chocolate for me, but you may be a chocoholic, okay? Or you may love crunchy sugar, salty, or crunchy salty stuff. I may love sugar stuff. It's different for every brain. Sometimes it is a whole collective, but I want you to know that there's certain ingredients that actually cause your brain to be hijacked, and that is a problem called food addiction. So battle number 1 is understanding and overcoming food addiction. The food addiction is a whole topic of itself. I'll make a whole video on it because it's actually contributing to a food addictive culture that you feel bad about, but it's actually part of it is out of your control. And so we want to learn about it so we can get it back, get more in control around our food and eating and what we're doing. Okay. So lots to share there. Huge chapter, big chunk, lots of prayer, lots of insight, and it'll actually break you free. And it's funny. Okay. Perform a gluttonectomy is the name of this next chapter, which is chapter 23. Now, my chapters in book 2 start at 21 because it's 30 total chapters of 2 books that are going to overcome the weight and eating mountain. So the first part of the mountain, it's similar to the children of Israel. We're going to get called out, right? We know we need to make a change. We're going to go through, some battles and wilderness, and then we're going to have to fight some giants. And then we finally get to the promised land. It's the same structure of the book and what we're doing through health, weight, and eating. Okay. So make sure you watch the first video on the Chubby Church book 1. This book 2, again, battle number 1 is food addiction and the standard American diet, which is actually a satanic addictive deception as well. So I want to help you understand Satan's agenda of death, SAD, that's around the food culture and how to work with it and get around it. All right. Next, we have the battle number 2, which is overeating. And we want to perform a gluttonectomy. And a gluttonectomy is really getting that glutton behavior out and that excess out. It is a sin. It is a battle. The sin, it just means doesn't hit the mark, is not on point, right? Not healthy for us, not the best way. So we just want to embrace what that looks like and means when it comes to like binges, for example. Okay, binge eating the whole bag, etc., the whole cake. All right, battle number 3, unclean eating. Now, the world has lots to say on unclean eating. I mean, that's basically not eating processed foods, in case you haven't heard that term. But God's the creator of the whole grocery store. Every animal and vegetation was his idea first, right? So where does unclean become and what does that look like? And there's so much to share here. This chapter, actually afterwards, the glory of God flooded my office because it was that powerful, the information and insight that God had me to write out. And I expected it to be like, a few pages. It was much longer and much deeper because of the battle here around clean eating. And there's a spiritual battle there too. So if you want to learn that insight and get freedom there, please try that chapter. It's not just from a processed foods perspective that's in there, but it's also from God's perspective. All right, battle number 4, forgo fleshy fasting. We have to talk about that imbalance of overeating with undereating, and then doing fleshy fasting, like when you decide last minute you need to fast because you ate too much the night before, or you're on a fast to really lose weight, not for spiritual growth or health and different reasons. So just learning about how to fast in a healthy way and not a food addicted, food obsessive and or eating disordered way, I should say. Okay. All right. Battle number 5 is battle shame. You know, one of the biggest bondages that we have around weight and eating is our body shame too. And body shame is significant for men and women, especially in American culture, where we're exposed to so many comparisons by nature of media. But media is photoshopped. It's another form of lies and deception. And I got to tell you that jumping off the body shame train will save your life in terms of healing with food, because this is it's not in diet books, and it's often the source, one of the key sources of why we eat disordered, because we start shaming our bodies. And you have to learn how to love yourself right now, where you're at, and get really right perspective and mindset about your shape and size. There's lots of ideas, healing ideas in there too, but this is a chapter that's expanded in order to help you break free from body shame. Battle number 6 is soul shame. Soul shame is the very reason Christ came to heal us and set us free, die on the cross and resurrect, is to heal the shame. So Jesus Christ is a shame healer, and that is great news. The problem is we isolate in shame around our food, our binge foods, watching TV, drowning our life, not answering our calling, not knowing, other things we can influence and do because of this thing called shame. And shame is where we feel defective, rejected, not good enough. Okay, all of that. And that's going to feed and permeate into feeling good enough in your body, or like you have to strive to be perfect in your body. Either spectrum, there is a healing. And I want to break that down for you because we have to learn how to relate and do relationship well, create boundaries, handle conflicts. A lot of us eat over conflict, over inner struggles that we have trouble voicing to another. So we dig into this real stronghold of soul shame. And that is part of weight and eating freedom that you will not hear about in diet books. I'll tell you that right now. All right, I've read a lot of them. Battle number 7 is, the chapter's called Resize Family Fat Genes, and it's genes, Genes, even though there's the pun there. That's kind of fun creatively on jeans. Now, the pants you wear, but genetic dispositions are real. These are factors. There's different threats to different types of ethnicities. Food culture in a Black city does look very different as far as access to healthy food, et cetera, than in a Caucasian culture. Okay. So there's real stuff there that's discussed. There's the reality that kids who have parents that don't deal with these strongholds will also have a higher likelihood of dealing with these strongholds. Okay, so parents, I want you to really take heed and listen and learn how to be healthier from the inside out, because it affects your future. And the kids today, this is very research and sound insight, but they're expected to die before parents, and we forbid it in Jesus' name. But it's also real reality that the kids are so unhealthy because we haven't set a good standard for them. There's more dynamics that the chapter goes into that I want you to really understand. And looking at your genes are not your destiny. There's a quote out there, your DNA is not your destiny. You can shift stuff. It doesn't have to be, oh, my mama's fat, my grandmother's fat, my daddy's fat, so I might as well, okay, just be fat and happy. No, it's really about how do we embrace understanding of our genes to make way. And I had lots of genes working against me, okay? And there are different protocols and things you need to do. So that chapter is amazing to heal some lies. And then we're going to get to keys to whole and free health, just reiteration of some great points, new points, and encouragement for here or to go. With that said, please consider getting Chubby Church book 2, Amazon.com or thechubbychurch.com. You can join my mailing list. I have a lot more coming for you, including active health programs for juicing and lots of good stuff to help you keep motivated in a really tough culture to be in for food and weight. All right. Love you guys. Thank you.